my name is Jeff Hopper, and I am the co-author of a Bible study series by Links Players International called Spiritual Due Diligence. And Spiritual Due Diligence was the kind of the brainchild of the man sitting next to me, Jeffrey Cranford. And together we have worked over time to put together these Bible studies, and we want to spend some time introducing them for you lesson by lesson to help spark your thinking and get you more interested and more involved in what the Bible says about who God is, who Jesus Christ is, and many of the other issues that you may have questions about in your life. And so today we begin the first study in spiritual due diligence, the need for due diligence, and we begin with the first lesson, which is reasons to resist, because there are certainly reasons to resist conducting spiritual due diligence in your life. And so today I'll begin by asking Jeffrey a question and allow him to answer, and hopefully this will spark your thinking and begin you down a path toward investigating the God of the Bible. Jeff, obviously people resist doing spiritual due diligence in their lives for many reasons. Can you understand that?
Oh, well, there's no question. And the reasons are, we don't have enough time for the reasons that people resist.
Yeah.
A lot of times, Jeff, it's a personal relationship. I know a lot of people say, well, I grew up in a religious school, and they were so cruel there that I don't want anything to do with that God. That was actually even the case for my own wife. When I think about it, a lot of people talk about the Bible. We can't trust the Bible. It's been translated, it's been passed down. It's not at all what Jesus intended to say. His disciples have twisted that. There's so many reasons that people resist.
Sure. Do you think that these are reasons that should keep them from doing the due diligence? What would inspire them to do the due diligence, even though they have these things maybe in their past or in their mind or in their heart even that say, I don't know if I want to have anything to do with God?
Well, I mean, they're again, when you think about reasons for not doing spiritual due diligence, fundamentally it's I don't believe it's true. I mean, it always starts with I just don't believe it's true. Imagine for a second, we think, I believe this is true, and a lot of people in churches around the country will say, I believe this is true, but I'm not that interested in it, which doesn't make sense at all. It's really a lack of understanding about what the Bible says about reality and what God says about reality. Think about it. If Jesus was the smartest man that ever walked the face of the earth, that's what a lot of Christians claim, that he was right. God. All right? He clearly claimed to be God. A lot of people, there's an argument about whether he claimed to be God. He clearly, in his references, always talked about being God. But think about this for a second. If he claimed to be God, he was then and was God. He was clearly the smartest individual ever walked the face of the earth. So why not pursue what he said about reality? And to imagine that people say, well, I believe he's God, but I'm not that interested in what he had to say about my life and about eternity is naturally illogical. And so a lot of times it gets back to, is this true? And a lot of people would like for it to be true. They would hope that it's true. The problem is they really deep down don't believe it's true because they've not done their investigative work. I can't tell you how many times I've met with men and women who finally did their due diligence. I have one guy in particular that was on our board early on, a guy by the name of Tom Anderson. I love this guy. This guy is fantastic. He was president of the California Trial Lawyers Association. There's been many of these cases. He set out to disprove Christianity as being true because he was so tired of hearing about it.
Right.
So he says, I'm going to apply my legal skills, and he spent about a 2 or 3 month sabbatical, went out, and is now one of the most solid believers that I know. In fact, recently published a book called The Verdict about his findings just from applying his many years, Tom's in his 70s now, his many years of legal experience to this document, did his due diligence, and then found out and believes that Jesus was in fact who he said he was. Thousands of reasons to resist, but imagine if there's even a chance that what Jesus said about reality is true, it's worth our pursuit in some way other than, I read a Time Life article 20 years ago, and it refuted Christianity, or I was watching the History Channel or the National Geographic Channel or something, and it talks about X, Y, or Z, and there's 1,000 different things, and it clearly refutes the integrity of this Bible. But those are just things we hear in passing, and it really just supports, I think, oftentimes, Jeff, a lifestyle that and many of us don't want it to be true in some senses because we misperceive what the message of Jesus was. So my encouragement to you and to your fellowships as you start and begin to penetrate this question is to be honest with yourselves and say, why would I resist? Why am I resisting? And then having answered that question, it really puts us on the right platform to maybe uncover some kind of shallowness in the way we've thought about spiritual due diligence in the past and put us on the right track to beginning the pursuit of God. And we welcome people. In our fellowships, we always welcome people. Even if you're not there, you're just kicking the tires on the whole Jesus thing, pursue Him. Jesus made this very clear thing. If you will seek me, you will find me. Mm-hmm. And I'm yet to meet a man or a woman who's really sought in the honesty and integrity of their heart Jesus and walked away saying, I found nothing. That's the odd part about it.
Right. Thank you, Jeffrey. Where you are, you can go ahead and begin the first lesson, and you'll find that we are very serious in understanding that there are significant reasons to resist spiritual due diligence, to resist exploring the God of the Bible. And the first lesson, as you move through it, Reasons to Resist Part 1, talks about the fact that there are things perhaps in the church or in God's character Himself that may keep you from exploring the God of the Bible. But we'd like you to take the time and review what's there and see if this begins to make sense to you today.